A scaly reptile has suffered from a bad reputation for far too long. Talking about snakes.
That's right. Dina standing by with more on conservation efforts on World Snake Day.
Yes, and so it's World Snake Day. And so although the people we're going to talk to would say it's World Snake Day every day, but for those of us who aren't as, accustomed to the little creatures, we're going to get to know them a little more. So we want to go back out to Save the Snakes, a local nonprofit here who works really hard not only to educate others, but also to make sure we all know that there is a lot to learn about snakes, that they're good. They're really good. So we have Adrian George joining, Adrian's not here. So we have Michael Starkey joining us once again. And so, Michael, we know that rattlesnakes are really common in our area. So what do people need to know about them if they see them on the trail, maybe in their own backyard? What should we do?
Right, and so there's two very different things to do if you see your rattlesnake out on the trail and whether you see them at home. So I'll cover them both really quickly. If you see a rattlesnake on the trail, best to give it space. There's basically about 10 feet, just back up 10 feet, allow that snake to get out of its way, or get out of your way, and then it'll usually just move off the trail on its own. Sometimes if they're staying put, they're actually relying on their excellent camouflage. You can look at this rattlesnake here, which is a northern Pacific rattlesnake, really common in our area, and its beautiful pattern actually help it blend in into its surroundings. So when you see that snake, it might be thinking it's blending in. So if you give it some space, it'll usually move off on its own, or it will maybe stay, just go around it. It's not going to come chasing after you.
Okay. Now, what if they're in their backyard? That's a different story.
Yes. Now, if you're in your backyard, obviously you don't want to leave the snake there.
Yeah.
And so there's a couple things you can do. First, you definitely want to either call a local snake rescuer or animal control, and then they will come and relocate the snake off of your property.
Okay.
Or alternatively, you can empower yourself and learn how to safely and professionally move a snake yourself.
Oh.
Save the Snakes now offers trainings to help landowners who have snakes on their property to safely move them away. And these are some of the safest techniques to teach you to be able to move that rattlesnake off of your land. Because if you're encountering one snake, there's a good chance you'll encounter another one.
Yeah, especially if you're in a property where, you built a home in a place where maybe that was their natural habitat. And so, you probably can't get rid of all of them. Now, should we be as fearful of them as, they make it out in the movies? Like, are they really going to come after us? Or are they more just trying to protect their own territory?
Right. So snakes are just trying to survive. It's a really hard world out there for snakes. They're prey for birds, for all kinds of animals, raccoons, skunks, and so they got to really put up a fight. And so rattlesnakes are actually really wonderful at letting us know that they're there with that amazing rattle. And so I actually think of rattlesnakes as the most polite snake on the planet because they let you know that they're there.
True.
There's no surprise, right? You know it's a rattlesnake. And so snakes are going to put on a big show, and the last thing they're going to do is try and defend themselves with a bite. But again, that venom, that important venom, is not meant for you. It's meant for their prey. That's how they actually mobilize, rodents and rats and all those things that they eat. It's meant for them. And so very often, they don't want to bite you. It's sort of a last resort. And so if you give snakes space, allow them to just move off on their own, or call someone just to move them outside of your property, everyone can be safe, people and snakes.
I'm going to start calling rattlesnakes the most polite snakes out there. I think that is a really great twist on, what maybe most people would be fearful of. Finally, do they always have the rattle, or is that something they develop later in their lifetime?
So rattlesnakes are actually born without a rattle. It's just a little button. And actually, I'm not sure if you can see this, but this is a rattlesnake rattle right here. And so rattlesnakes, there's a myth out there that you can tell a rattlesnake's age by counting the buttons or the segments on the tail. That's not true. Every time they shed their skin, they actually, so this is snake skin, not from a rattlesnake, but every time they shed, they get a new little segment. And the interlocking segments make this sound. And this stuff is made out of the same stuff of our fingernails, called keratin. So really amazing. They break off in the wild all the time. This one actually broke off, and so we're able to show it, use it to display. Yeah, very fascinating, but again, not all snakes have rattles, only the rattlesnakes do, and some species actually don't even have a rattle. But Northern California, our rattlesnakes have rattles, so if you hear that sound, give it plenty of space.
They're trying to be polite, people. Trying to let you know they're there. Okay, thank you so much. Again, Michael Starkey with Save the Snakes. Their information is going to be up on our screen. We're also going to have it connected to our website. So many facts to learn. And if you're a homeowner and you've got a problem with snakes, certainly reach out to these guys. They know what they're doing. They're the experts. Thank you so much. Happy National, or rather World Snake Day.
Thank you so much.
All right, back over
Happy
to you
World
guys.
Snake Day. Take care.
Take care.
Wow.